Hey guys, I've only got two more topics I'm going to talk about that I've got written down about autism and ADHD. This is how my brain is, but the thing is obviously I'm only mild ADHD and I'm high functioning autistic, so I can't speak for those who have it a lot harder than me, because we have skills and abilities that aren't really appreciated by this world. That's how I view it. But at the same time, it's like there's various topics coming to my mind. I'm trying to fight them off because I guess you could say I'm masking if I'm trying to fight them off, because otherwise I'd just be talking about them all and then going off on all these different tangents. Control myself. Okay. Having reasonable, realistic goals is good, because I had these big ass goals when I was younger when it came to sports and other things of this nature, as well as school, and it's carried on throughout, because people say, oh, you get bullied as a kid. Well, you get bullied as an adult too, except for they don't tell you to go kill yourself, or if you die no one's going to miss you like kids do when you're younger. In some cases parents. But the thing is okay, I just didn't want to hit that roaring. It's going to be a bit louder on you guys here, okay? So it's better for me to have the windows down, but for hearing quality I've got the air conditioning on at halfway. So here's the thing. As in these certain areas, I view these people as like the rock stars, and because when we were younger, I say this stuff because there might be young kids watching or whatever that have a different experience in regards to this, but you go to the classroom, right? You got about 30 people in your classroom, and then you got all the kids in the school, okay? But you got the 30 kids in the classroom that you're most connected with. It's like without social media, without all that, the best in those classes, or those who are best at certain topics, but not as best as others in certain topics, if you have to put all this extra effort in just to keep up, you're going to view them as rock stars, because I don't know if the kids these days will view those kids as rock stars now due to social media. They'll say that, every class has got a couple of them. And see, when you get to an adult, they don't say those things, but they pretend to be your friend, and then they'll say things, oh, let's meet up somewhere, or let's go do this and that, and then they don't show up. Or they show up and they're with other people and they just ignore you, and they don't have a conversation with you. And that's like, okay, so it's the weekend, let's go meet up at the cafe or something, right? Go meet up at the cafe, and that's what happens, and you're like, what the hell? And then people say, oh, you shouldn't worry about what people think, because if nobody hates you, then you're not doing anything, you're doing something wrong. I say, yeah, but it's a different thing if that's the expected outcome. St. John's Ambulance, hey, you guys keep up the good work, guys. Ambulance, well, I like to think positively. But for me, if I have this, most people would say it's a pessimistic view, but it serves me, and it serves some autistic people. What I mean by some is, I don't like speaking on all behalfs, but I'm talking about those I've met up with. The pessimistic point of view not pessimistic, but actually ends up being of most benefit. You know, because people will say, oh, you expect to go somewhere and you expect to start conversations and for it to go nowhere, or you expect this and you expect that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I had a lifetime up until I was in my 20s of expecting the opposite, and all I did was break my heart. And so when I got to the point in my late 20s to early 30s that I expected the conversations to not go anywhere, or, you know, when I did get conversations started, which was the rare thing, you know, like let's say you go to about 5 or 6 events and then you end up going to 2 events, and at each, not going, but you go to these 5 or 6 events, and let's say there's 10 conversations you tried to start up at each event, and they all went nowhere, except for you ended up in having like 2 conversations in one event and 2 conversations in another, right? Now your world, your perspective of, like, here's what I don't know who they're waving to, but they're waving out their car. They might be waving to me or someone else, so I'll wave back just in case. I don't like being perceived to be rude by people who do kind gestures, so I wave back just in case they were waving at me. That's nice. I waved out the window. Oh no, they're picking up other people. Oh, there you go. So I have hope, but at the same time I get like that when things happen. But let's say you go start, I don't know. But you see, when you're growing up, they'll say, go kill yourself, nobody likes you, nobody gives a F about you. You stand up for yourself, and then you keep, you say, like, why are you saying these mean things? What is your problem? You know, but as an adult, you just go places, and they'll invite you places, and you get there and they don't even, Now, also you got to realise that relationships take time. But there's a thing that, even though we don't end up in a relationship through a conversation, it's still nice to have a conversation. I used to think, why would you say that in your 20s? Why don't you just get... It's typically autistic, though. When I was in my 20s, I was like, why would you say like that? Why would you talk about how this person's got a nice dress, or this person's got a nice t-shirt? Little compliments like that can actually boost someone's day. Like back when I'm in my 20s, I'd just go there and start talking about all these philosophical ideas. And it didn't matter if they looked like the Prime Minister, or they were wearing business suits, or it didn't matter if they were wearing casual clothing like I'm wearing now, or it didn't matter if they looked homeless. I go up and start having all these theological conversations, and we'll be back and forth. It's different when you talk to me in person, because this is a monologue. Because if a person's sitting here talking to me, they'll butt in, or not butt in, but they'll chime in because they got something to say about something I said, and blah 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 blah. Oh, this is not gone now, it's gone. I thought it would. The importance of having realistic goals, because I thought that those guys were like the ones who were the best in the class at certain topics. I thought, well, I was best when it came to learning languages. I was best at learning languages and maths. So, yes. I thought these other ones were like rock stars, were like stars, and I was just your average kid. But then once I put in the hard yards and I overtook them all, I came to the realization they started on level 1 and they were still there, and I was at level -15 at the beginning.